It's finally time to do my game room tour for 2025. Hey guys, it's Retrohead here, and welcome back to another video. So I'm doing a video that I've been meaning to do for a couple of years, and that is finally getting around to doing a game room tour. Now I've finally got the room where a point where I'm really happy to show you what I've got and how I display it and stuff. But just before we get into the tour, I need to tell you about a few bits that I don't keep in this room. So I'm a big collector of PS1, PS2, PS3, original Xbox and PSP, but none of those games are in this room, and that is because of the space. I also collect for Switch, Wii U, but don't have any room to display in here. So in here I have more of my retro stuff, which is my favourite stuff. So if you're thinking like, oh, he's got no Wii U games or no PS2 or anything, I have, but they're just in a different room. I'll probably get round to showing you at some point, but today I want to focus more on my favourite stuff, and that is the retro games. And yeah, I'm really excited to show you this game room tour, as I've been meaning to do this for so long, but just haven't got round to it yet. So sorry if you've been like wanting to see what I've actually got in this room, but yeah, finally today is the day of my game room tour. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on the video, as it hugely helps push it up the YouTube algorithm for more people to see. And also, if you're watching this video and not subscribed to my channel, if you like collecting, playing and buying retro games, please consider leaving a subscribe. So yeah, I'm looking forward to showing you this. So I've been wanting to do this for a couple of years, but just haven't got round to it. So finally, let's get started on this game room tour. So as you can see, here is where I keep a lot of my favourite stuff sort of faced out on the shelves. So I'm going to start from the top left up here. As you can see, I have some original Game Boy consoles. So on the left we have an original Game Boy in the box. In the middle here I have a Game Boy printer boxed, and also another original Game Boy. This is one I've had in the collection for absolutely years, and it's literally in like mint condition. Moving along, there's a silver Game Boy Pocket in the box. I also have a black Game Boy Pocket here. Then I have my Game Boy colours here, so I have a lime, grape and also a teal one all in the box. And then moving along, we have Game Boy Advance systems, so I have my purple Game Boy Advance, my Glacier one and also Platinum. And then moving along, finally a couple of SPs in the box. We have the silver and also the Mario vs Donkey Kong edition. Moving on down, I'm quite new to NES collecting. I haven't been collecting for very long, so not an overly big collection. As you can see, Mario 3 and Silent Service, two really good games faced out there. But moving along, we have Track and Field. The Top Gun games are awesome. Shadowgate is one that you don't hear mentioned very often, but a really fun game. And the same for Ferrari Grand Prix Challenge. I really like that one as well. Now moving along, we have a bit of a random shelf here. This Daffy Duck game is my most expensive game in my collection. Got that for an absolute bargain. At the back there, I have a couple of N64 accessories in the box, and I also have this little woolly Yoshi amiibo here, which is really cute. And a Pokemon Snap game in the box. Then I have this really cool Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival set and some Nintendo Adventure books here. And then moving along, I really like this shelf, but it's really random, so I have a bit of all sorts Nintendo on here. So you can see there's a Super Mario Kart game at the back there, a couple of Nintendo games on the Spectrum, which is really cool. Then I have an old Goomba Burger King toy. This is a Zelda mini classic, which is basically like a more modern Game & Watch. I think they were early 2000s. I remember finding that at Car Boot for 20p, which is awesome. Then I have a Pokemon Pikachu, which is basically a Tamagotchi. A few Nintendo stickers here, a Captain N VHS and some Super Famicom games. Then moving along down, Mario Cement Factory unboxed on the Game Watch. A really nice 1992 Mario figure. And Mario Brothers on the Atari 2600. Then moving along down, have some Boxer Jaguar games here, Doom being my favourite. But that Supercross 3D game no one talks about, but I thought was really good. Then at the back here, I have a couple of little Nintendo books. And then this is the start of my boxed Game Boy collection that I sort of have moving along the shelves, as you can see here. Some standouts for me are definitely Wave Race. I love that game on the Game Boy. Some really good games here. Choplifter 2 is also a really good one. Then obviously you have Zelda, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. An absolutely amazing game. These are definitely my favourite Game Boy games. Golf being one that isn't mentioned a lot, that's also really good. but obviously Super Mario Land is going to be a brilliant game. Then moving along down, here is a 1992 Mario on a skateboard. Moving along, this is a 90s bath and shower foam holder, which is really random but really cool. A couple more VHS and also an N64 Rumble pack. Then moving along here, I have this, and I absolutely love this. It's still got the £5 sticker on. This is like a Nintendo sliding puzzle, which is really cool because it looks like a drinks can. And I absolutely love the artwork on that. I'm going to leave it that way so Mario's at the front. But then I have the start of my boxed N64 controllers. This one is one of the hardest ones to find because obviously if you were a kid and you were choosing controllers, not only would you probably not keep the box, but you probably also wouldn't pick the grey controller, which you probably already have with your N64. But I have a grey one there, moving on to yellow and then blue, then green, black and red, as you can see there. And this is also another one of those mini classics as well, as you can see, which is really, really nice. This is the gold one. And then moving along down, I have this really, really nice limited edition gold N64 controller variant. And then just on the left here, this is a Club Nintendo exclusive SNES Wii controller, which I think is really, really cool. And then moving along from here, I have my fantastic N64, and this is the grape one in a box protector because this is really nice. And then as you can see on this next shelf is a big hole. There's nothing actually here at the minute, and that's because in a couple of days time I'm actually picking up a very, very nice Nintendo item to go in the collection. And hopefully if the deal goes through, that'll go in that hole there. And then moving along down, some DVDs here. Not only do I like to play games in this room, but I also like to watch DVDs. So they start off on the left, you see here, a lot of music DVDs, but also F1, NASCAR I absolutely love. A couple of brilliant retro shows here. We have Trapdoor and Stop It and Tidy Up. I absolutely love Trapdoor as well, by the way. And then some really, really cool music ones here. And then Keeping Up Appearances, which is one of my favourite series of all time. And then at the bottom here, I have sort of like some Mario knickknacks and stuff. I used to have an absolutely massive Mario toy collection, but I've really downsized it, which is probably a good thing, because it was too big, really. Then up here, we have Donkey Konga pack on the GameCube, and also Donkey Konga 2. That doesn't actually have the game in it yet. I'm still looking for the game, but I bought it cheap just without the game. Then moving along down, one of the harder ones to find, and that is Donkey Kong Jungle Beat pack, which I love to have in the collection. And that Japanese GameCube game on the right there is Mario Party 4, which is cool. Then moving along down, my favourite piece in my collection, for nostalgia and the fact that I think it's cool, is this Mario Kart Double Dash Platinum pack on the GameCube. As you can see there is a rip on the box, but apart from that, this box is in really nice condition. There's obviously a little bit of whitening on the corners, which you got to expect, but for a console of that age, it is in pretty good condition. And then here was a car boot find not really that long ago, and this is a Mario movie figure, which is really nice. I think that's from 1993, I think. Then moving along down, we have the GameCube Dance Stage Mario Mix Pack, which I love the box art on. That was a CEX purchase. And at the bottom here, we just have some big, more bulky Mario stuff. And this Mario here, this is actually from a Mario Pringles standee, which is really random, but really nice. It's not too big, so you can sort of fit it anywhere in the room, and that's why I like it. So yeah, I just like to have it sort of tucked down there. And the thing that I've just knocked over is an Amiibo flag from the Amiibo Tower that you can get. And then moving along here, I have this really, really cool, what I think is cool. I know a lot of people won't because it takes up so much room. But that is the Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom massive Switch standee. As you can see here, you've got room to display your Switch games in there. I love to have that, but I can see why people wouldn't love to have that, if you know what I mean. Then moving along round on these top shelves up here, I have a Super Mario All-Stars SNES, which I actually pieced together. I found a SNES for a tenner and ended up paying 25 quid for that box, so that was a good bargain there. The Donkey Kong MB Games board game, Street Fighter 2. I have this massive Wii Fit Plus box, which is like a console bundle pack, which I really like. Then as you can see, there is a big gap, because that's a recent purchase I had to take out for the room tour before I show you on one of my next videos. Then moving along round, a few more console boxes. Mario Kart 8 Wii U I really, really like. These are a couple of my original DS systems in the box on the left, and I absolutely love both of those consoles. And also a Nintendo 3DS XL Luigi Special Edition, which I love. Then a couple of GameCube consoles here. I have one of my favourite pieces in my collection again, and that is an Atari Jaguar complete in box, which is so awesome to have. Then a couple more original DS systems, a Game Boy Micro, which you don't see every day either, and also my 2DS console collection. Black and blue one was my original day one 2DS, because I actually bought the 2DS when it came out, not the 3DS. Then my PS Vita. Some more DS consoles here. The DSi XL one is really nice. I've had that for years. This is a 3DS XL red and black. Then Mario Kart Wii, as you can see here. And moving on down underneath this, we have the Wii Red 25th Anniversary Mario Edition. And also the Mario All-Stars box set here, which I think look really, really good together. Then as you can see here, another little bit of a random shelf. But these two games here are for the Princetronic VC6000. And for those boxes being from the late 70s, the condition of them is absolutely brilliant. Also have a boxed PS1 controller next to that. I bought the Game & Watch Super Mario Edition when it came out. What was that, like 2020 it might have been? Maybe a little bit before. And absolutely love that console. A Space Invaders Famicom game in this really nice cassette case, which I really like. And then also the SNES and NES Mini, as you can see there. Moving along down, now this is on display. I don't have any of my other Wii sleeves on display, but that is because this one is sealed. Well, it's not really sealed, but it's, you know, it's never been opened. It's still got a sticker, and I found that at a car boot for 50p. Then moving along, we have my Neo Geo Pocket Color collection. So I have the console there, and then also 3 games. King of Fighters probably being my favourite one. Then we have this Bowser figure here, which is really nice, and behind that is my favourite PS3 Collector's Edition, the only one I have in this room, and that is the Final Fantasy X and X2 Collector's Edition. Absolutely love that. And then moving along down on this last shelf here, I have a red DSi and also a black DSi. All along the tops of these shelves is absolutely full of sealed figures and sealed amiibo. On the top here I have a bit of a random mishmash of stuff. So I have a couple of the World of Nintendo Microland sets up there, which I absolutely love that figure line. It's really nice. And then I have a boxed GameCube memory card, and also I don't really collect loose, but this came in a bundle. And this is a pretty rare N64 game, Tom and Jerry Fists of Fury, and it was a really, really good game. So I sort of like to have that one on display because the game is so good. Behind that is my Street Fighter 2 Turbo SNES. I found that one in CEX as well, which I was really pleased when it was that SNES and not just like an original one. And then also Mario Paint Complete in Box there, as you can see. Not the best game in the world, but it's pretty fun for what it is. And then moving along down, I'm sure if you've watched the channel before, you'll know I'm going for the full UK PAL GameCube set. And it's the only console that I'm going for the full set for. And also down here, I'm also going for the full Player's Choice set. Now, I've been doing this for about 6 to 8 months, and I haven't found overly many yet, because they're quite hard to find in good condition, but I'm still getting along well with the set. But I just thought I'd show you some of my GameCube collection now. So I got this sign at the top here, which I think looks pretty cool. And again, I'm not going to go too in-depth in this, because this will probably be in a different video, and if you watch the channel, you will have seen me pick a lot of these up. A lot of these I did pick up absolutely years ago, so you won't have seen on the channel. So it is quite nice to sort of like update you on how the collection is going on, if you do actually care. You might not care, but you know, I do like to update you and show you what's happening. Now these games at the minute I have phased out, but for that reason is so that when I get a new game, it's nice and easy to file in, because they're all in alphabetical order, and then I haven't got to like swap them around on the shelves and that. I can just turn those games around on the side and then have loads more room. But there are some great games on these shelves. The GameCube is my most nostalgic and favourite console of all time, and that is why I'm going for the full set for it, because I just think it's a great console. And I do think the prices are starting to come down on the GameCube as well, which is a big relief. Now this is one of my latest purchases, but also one of my best purchases on the GameCube, and that is Conan. This is about a £30 game now, and I found this at a car boot for £4, complete in box. It's a really, really random story on how I got it, but yeah, a great find there. And then we move on to a spot that I think you'll be quite familiar with seeing, and this is obviously where I stand for my videos. So I won't show you this for too long, but there is some cool bits to show you. So along the top, I have lots of consoles and sort of like a few random bits. This Dr. Mario game, which is basically Operation, is really cool. And then I just got a few boxed SNES games here. The SNES is a console that I want to collect for more, but it is so expensive and hard to find these games. It's really difficult to. So just sort of have them moving down to here. And then moving along, we'll start with my blue box N64 games. I really like this colour blue on a lot of these N64 games, so I try and keep those together if I can. A couple of them aren't, a couple of them are faced out in other places, but they're often the really good games as well. Glover, which is one that I've recently been getting into, and it is absolutely amazing. Then moving along here, I have a few more N64 games and also a transfer pack in the box. And then there's even more N64 games. These are just that little bit cheaper than the SNES games a lot of the time, and a lot easier to find. So that's why I sort of naturally have a lot more. And the N64 is just such a great console as well. Then moving along, we start on my Game Boy Advance collection here. So these are sort of ordered a little bit strange. As you can see, we have Game Boy Advance there and here. And then it goes to Game Boy Color here. Then Game Boy Color moving down, and also a couple more on the right there. And then it goes Game Boy Advance back here. And then all of the rest of this is Game Boy Advance. Similar with N64, Game Boy Advance games are just that little bit easier to find than original Game Boy games. And it's easier to find them in decent condition and for a good price. I would like to collect a lot more for the original Game Boy, but same with the SNES, it is so expensive and hard to do. Then I have this Nintendo DSi Style Boutique, which I haven't actually seen many times before, so I like having that. And this is my most used DS, that's a DSi White that I just use for everyday sort of gaming. Then moving along down, a big Bowser figure and Bowser's Airship, which are great sets. I have lots of books and strategy guides, not all my strategy guides, just my favourite ones. And these two items aren't normally here. They are just there to cover up some recent pickups, because whenever I get a recent pickup that I've not shown on camera yet, it goes on that shelf, but obviously with the room tour you'll now see in this shelf, and I've got to cover it up. So here I have my TV set up, and if I move down a bit for you, the only console I have plugged in at the moment is the original Wii, and that is because I go through a lot of different phases when I play games. I don't have the room to have all the consoles set up at all times, so what I do is I have like the Wii here that also plays GameCube games plugged in, and I play like loads of Wii and GameCube, and then I move on to like PS1, then I plug the PS1 in and play that for a few weeks, and then it might be like original Xbox or N64, and I'll plug those consoles in, so that's what I like to do with that. Now I am looking to get a console that you can play all of the cartridges on, like a Retron or something, but can't afford to do it at the moment. These, both drawers are absolutely full of cartridges, and both of these drawers down the bottom here are absolutely full of controllers. And then here on the floor, which you've probably never seen before, is a really cool Mario rug, and also around here, a controller rug as well, which I found both at Car Boots. They literally looked brand new, but I stuck them in the wash, and now they look even better, and they look really, really nice on the floor. So that was my game room tour. Let me know your favourite item in the comments down below, and also let me know what do you like collecting at the minute, because I always like chatting to you guys in the comments and stuff. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!